Welcome everybody today. I'm John Sherwood, and this edition is Presidential Eats. I've got the fire going here beside me. Today we are going to, for President's Day, we're going to cook up some Lyndon B Johnson chili. I understand that by looking on the internet, he liked his chili spicy because he's from Texas, and then so we're going to make up some of that. And then also we're going to make Teddy Roosevelt's favorite biscuits called Fat Rascals. I'm going to try to bake some of those in a pie pan, 2 pie pan configuration, and maybe even try a reflector oven if I have enough dough left over. So stay tuned, and I'll get this fire going really good, get some larger wood on there, and we'll get started. Okay, so the Lyndon B Johnson chili calls for quite a bit of stuff because they're making quite a bit of chili in here. So they're calling for 4 pounds of coarsely ground chuck or round steak, 1 large onion, 2 cloves of garlic crushed, 5 shakes of hot sauce or more to suit, 1 teaspoon of ground oregano, 1 teaspoon of cumin seed, 6 teaspoons of chili powder, 2.5 cans of number 2 can size tomatoes, 2.5 cans of the number 2 size kidney beans, 2 cups of hot water, and salt to taste. But I'm going to have to cut that down because it's just me and my wife. So I've got about 1 pound of ground chuck here, some Frank's red hot sauce, can of diced tomatoes, some dark red kidney beans, and a can of chili beans. I kind of like extra beans in mine, so we're going to go off recipe just a little bit. Here's some tomato sauce. Here's our chili powder, our ground cumin. I didn't have any seeds, so I have ground cumin, and oregano. And here's 2 little cloves of garlic. I might use both or just 1. So I'm going to start browning this meat and cutting the onion up and getting it in there. That's what calls for first, is the onion, the garlic, and the meat to be browned. So I'll get started. Did a lot of looking on the internet when I did this. I thought it'd be fun for President's Day to try to find out something that the presidents like to eat. So according to the website I found, this is one of the favorite things that President Johnson liked to eat. So whether that's true or not, I don't know, but it sure is. It's fun to get out here in the backyard and do some cooking though. So it's a good reason to get out here. So let me just chop up some of this onion, just kind of. I haven't been able to get out in the woods for a little while because me and my wife just had a baby not too long ago. Cute little baby boy. He's been something else. Love him to death. And can't wait to get him out here doing some of these things, cooking out in the backyard or in the woods or on camping trips or kayak trips. I look forward to all those things that we'll be doing together. So there's our onion. Okay. And by the way, we're using a 12-inch Dutch oven today to cook our chili in. I've had this thing forever. So let me get the meat over the fire and start getting it browning. Alright, here we go. And then go the onions. And then off camera I still got to cut the garlic up to the clove of garlic. I'll add it in there off camera. Okay, let's check on our meat here. Sorry about all the cars. I live on a busy street. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let you guys kind of see in there. It's browned up pretty good. Now we need to drain some of that grease off there, which is the healthy thing to do. So what I'm going to do is try to dump it right here by the fire. So let me get my gloves on. Without trying to spill it. Try not to spill it. Okay, here we go. Maybe this is going to work, maybe not. There we go. Let's see how good that is. That looks pretty good to me. Okay. So now the recipe calls for adding the tomatoes and the beans and all that stuff and all the seasonings. Okay, so I pulled it off the fire to make it easier so we could film it. Here's some tomato sauce, a can of tomato sauce. Some diced tomatoes. Some chili beans. Some kidney beans. Okay. And it calls for, let's see here, 1 teaspoon of oregano. So since we broke it down in the quarter size because they wanted 4 times that amount, we're going to go to quarter teaspoon of oregano. 1/4 teaspoon of cumin. And it says 6 teaspoons of chili powder. So we'll go 2/4 teaspoons. Okay. And we may add more to that after we do a taste test. And then it says 5 shakes of hot sauce. I'm going to add a little extra than that. There we go. Now let's get us a stir up. And it says add 2 cups of hot water. So I think we're just going to add probably about a cup because I want this to simmer a little bit. And we may have to add some as we go. Okay, that looks pretty good. And let's see, I'm missing salt, so I'll have to get some of that. I'll add it off camera. So there you go. I'm going to put it back on the fire to let it simmer. Might end up having to raise that up just a little bit. It might be too hot, but we'll check on it. Keep an eye on it. Okay, for our next recipe, presidential recipe, we're going to make Teddy Roosevelt's Fat Rascals. It's his adaptation of the English baked good. Basically got flour, salt, sugar, baking powder, butter, currants, or in this case I'm using raisins, some milk. So basically they want 4 cups of flour for this recipe, and there's, like I said, it's just me and my wife, so I'm going to cut that in half. So in here I've got 2 cups of AP flour, all-purpose, and they call for 1/4 cup of sugar. So in here, of course, is 1/8 of a cup, and baking powder would be 2 teaspoons instead of 4, and the milk. They asked for 1 cup of milk. I've got 1/2 cup milk here. So let's get started with it. The first thing he wants us to do is sift the flour with 1 teaspoon of salt and 1/4 cup of sugar, which is 1/8 of a cup. So let's get started at that. So let's take our flour. I'm not going to sift it because I'm out here in the backyard. Alright, let's add our sugar, 1/8 of a cup of sugar. And then 2 tablespoons of baking powder. Just 1, 2. Okay. That's done. Alright. And a teaspoon of salt, so I'm kind of just guess. 1/2 teaspoon. Alright. And let's see, it doesn't say add the milk yet, so we're going to wait. Cut in 1.5 cups of butter. Quite a bit of butter. If we cut that in half, that's going to be 1 stick and, let's see, 4 tablespoons. So 1.5 sticks of butter into that. That's quite a bit of butter. We'll start with 1 stick and see how it goes. So let's open this up. I'm going to slice this into little wafers. Now you could use a couple knives to cut this butter into it, but I did bring the pastry cutter from in the house home to my wife. Seems like a lot of butter. Yep, maybe that's what it's supposed to have. Our pastry cutter here. See inside here. I'll just get this over here so you can see it a little better. I think maybe we will add that other 1/2 stick. So let's do that real quick. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I probably could cut it up a little bit more. It's not too bad. Some of you cooks out there will probably not agree with me, but I don't know, it seems okay to me. Now it says to add your raisins, 1 pound. So we're cutting this basically in half. Stir in your raisins. I'm just going to kind of take a guess at it. Okay. Take a guess. That looks pretty good, I'd say. Maybe just a little bit more. That's a 20-ounce can right there. That's just a guess. That might be too much, but oh well. It says mix again and then add the milk little by little. Okay. Keep mixing. Boy, that's a lot of raisins. Maybe I put too much in there. Coming kind of a sticky dough. And that's that. Okay, so I think this is the attention that they had. President Theodore. Okay, so now you're probably wondering, what are we cooking this thing in? I think I said in the beginning, but we got ourselves a couple pie pans here. Hope you can see that. Yeah, a couple of pie pans, and we'll put the dough on one side and put the lid on and use these clips, paper clip type things, to fasten it down the sides. We'll put a little bit of coals on the bottom, put some coals on the top, and bake them. And also, if I have enough dough left over, I'm going to try out this handy dandy reflector oven I've got here. It folds down flat. I'll probably do a video on it again some other time. But there's the side, has a little arm to help hold it straight, and it folds nice and flat. So maybe we'll try this out if we have enough dough left over. So I'm going to make it into make the dough into little 1/2 inch thick, maybe about 3-inch round biscuits. Okay, and what we'll do here is we'll take a little bit of this dough. I got a floured board here. Try to guess. I don't have a biscuit cutter, but this is the way I would probably do it out in the woods, just like this. There's one. They call for, in his recipe, for 2-inch ones. That's pretty small. I'm just guessing here. Don't look like they're going to be even, but that's okay. Let's make another one. They call for it to be 1/2 inch thick and put into an ungreased pan. So that's a little more than 1/2 inch thick. Let's go a little smaller. Alright. I'm going to make one more on camera, and then the rest of them I'll do off camera so I'm not wasting your time. Let's pinch a little bit of that off there. Make them just a little bit smaller. There we go. Alright, and I'll keep making those, and I'll probably end up putting some into that reflector oven. Stand by. Okay. Okay, I've got those, I got them all rolled out and into this pan. And now what I'm going to do is take this other part, which is going to be our lid, place it on here, apply our 2 little clips, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do with that in the fire. You got to be careful not to get the bottom too hot. If you put it right in the coals, it's going to burn those biscuits. So I'll show you what I'm planning on doing. Hopefully it works out. Now with the reflector oven, instead of using that dish I had in there, I decided, why don't I just place them right on that grate and see what happens. So I'll show you how I place those by the fire too. Okay, as you can see, I moved the fire over this way with the chili to let it just finish simmering over there. But right here, there's quite a bit of heat. Oh, it's real hot there. So I think right about here, I'm thinking I'm going to let this dish rest right here. I'll have to rotate it around some. There, just like that. I think that's gonna work. Let's see. Yeah. Now I'm gonna take some of these coals here and shovel onto the top. Okay. Get a few more. It is, you lose a lot of heat off of it. Okay. Now that's that. I'll let that bake for a little bit, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with the reflector oven. I think I'm going to put it over here. So, reflector oven, I understand. I've never used one before, but I understand you need flames. So I'm going to put it right over here on these rocks and build that fire up underneath the pot a little bit. Hopefully that will do it. Alright, here we go. Now we need something, I'd like to see it tilt up just a little bit more. So I need to put something underneath this one leg here. So when I get it squared around, I'll come back to you. Okay, so we got a nice flame going in front of our biscuits on the reflector oven. The only thing I didn't think of was those things need to be rotated every once in a while, or they'll burn there in the front. So I'll have to probably get a spatula and rotate them around to get them to not be burnt totally in the front. So there you have it. There's our other biscuits down there baking. I need to rotate those around too. And while I got you on camera, we'll check the chili real quick. I apologize I apologize for all the traffic out here, but I live right next to a busy road. Okay. It's cooking up really well. See if I can get you guys to have a shot at it. Here we go. It's simmering up good. I might have to raise it up a little bit because we don't want it to burn with all that extra flame I've got there. So what's good about that is with this tripod, you just to raise the pot from down there, all you gotta do is wrap it around this leg a couple times to the height that you need it. So I'll see if I can demonstrate that. Set my camera up here. Just wrap it around again to raise the height of your pot. Alright, and then I'll check back in with you when I got something to show. Okay, here's the reveal. Let's take a look what's inside here. Inside of our biscuit pan. Get my gloves on here. Okay. Take off the two clips. Boom. Pretty cool. I call that done. Now, as for our reflector oven, it looks like the biscuits, I don't know if you can see that or not, but they kind of fell through the grate a little bit. So it's going to be a little difficult to get them out. Let's try. Get my gloves off. Let's see if we can lift them straight up. Oh yeah. Not too bad. A little burn on the front, just like I expected. But not bad. Really flaky, smoky flavored. I'll set that right on top of there. See if we can get another one out. Carefully. Okay, yeah, you can see the shape of the grate on the bottom. But it baked them up. Strong, smoky flavor. There we go. Oh, that one broke, but not too bad. Pretty flaky though. It's gonna be hard to put butter on. We're gonna give it a try. Let's take a look at our chili. Pull the lid off of this. Oh yeah. Looks good. A little bit runny, but you could add some. That's probably because I put too much water in there. I should have followed the instructions. But anyways, you can add a little bit of cornmeal, not cornmeal, but it's cornstarch to it. You know, thicken it up, or a little bit of flour or something. But maybe it'll thicken up too as I let it cool down just a little. I just pulled it off the fire. But anyways, there's the Lyndon B Johnson chili, basically, without the jalapeno peppers and stuff that he likes to make it hot because my wife has to eat it. And there is the Fat Rascals by President Theodore Roosevelt. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great President's Day.